Hello, everybody. John Henderson Pierre, the Beer Ramble again. Uh, Humid day, and a perfect beer to have Michelob ULTRA Lime Cactus. 4% ABV, just like the Michelob ULTRA. Gets a poor score on Beer Advocate. The bros haven't scored it yet. I doubt they will, but who knows. This is a light lager style, or some would say maybe a fruit flavored beer because of the lime, but I'll go with light lager. As you see what the beer looks like, very clear, as you can see. It looks almost like I'm drinking a soda. Hard soda. But very, 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 as you can see, very little fizz. It's kind of went away very quickly. So, take a scent. It definitely has the scent. You smell some hops, a little malt more so. Some cooked vegetables, a little bit in there. Definitely smell the citrus in this. Natural flavors. A superior light beer. So, onto the taste. Um, and uh, what I want to say about this, as we all know, the history of Michelob Ultra, history of light beers, I should say, going back to the mid '70s, people were looking for something a little more light and refreshing, and love beer, but they don't want all the added calories and you know carbs, and that became such a hip thing to say. So they started, with Miller Lite was one of the first beers to come out in 1975, and then on in test markets, and then it went national in '78. Natural Light, of course, you may remember that's the Anheuser-Busch brand that came out in 1977. Bud Light in 1982, and Coors Light around the also '78 as well. So, and again, they've been around forever. All the companies have put out different styles of light beer. Now, Michelob had their line, which is also owned by Anheuser-Busch, had the Michelob Lager and they had the Michelob Light. And the Michelob Light, to me, did very well. And all these light beers were all doing well. They were making money for for their respective companies. Coors with Coors Light, Michelob. I mean, Michelob and Bud Light, whatever, for their perspective. Natty Light was still being sold. Busch Light came out in 1989. That was also doing well. Old Milwaukee Light, Old Milwaukee Light, all these beers really were all doing well. Heavy rotation of advertising on TV, all of them, and that was pretty much what most folks were drinking. And some complaints you hear that it tastes the same as this one. This light beer tastes just like that light beer from whether it was from the same companies or from what they would say, why does this taste just like this from Coors, or why does this taste like that? Whatever. But and they pretty much dominated the market, as were the lagers. But the light beers were really becoming the thing. So go through the '80s and the '90s, all of them are doing well. And then for some reason, 2001, again, with those feelings being met out there, Michelob and I decided, hey, we're going to change the game. We're going to put out the ultimate superior light beer. And that came Michelob Ultra in 2002. 4%. And most of the light beers at that time, the ones I mentioned just now, their ABVs were all 4.2, 4.1, 4 point, between 4.1 to 4.2 or 3%. and even Old Milwaukee Light, which was probably the lowest of all of them, but was at 3.8%. So when they came out with this, the Ultra at 4%, a lot of people were like scratching their heads. Why would Michelob, cannibalize their own brew and Michelob Light and put out with this? And Michelob Light was still doing well. May not Probably was not doing as much advertising on TV, but Michelob Light was doing pretty good for the Michelob line. So this comes out, Michelob Ultra, and what helped him, of course, was promoting this lifestyle. The other light beers were not promoting lifestyle; it was promoting guys, just hanging out, watching sports, and doing funny things, or goofing around, whatever, watching the game. That beer was promoting lifestyle. We're playing sports. I work all day, but now I'm going to run. I'm going to jog. It's about health and feeling good, looking good. And feeling better about myself. I'm going to do all this stuff. This and the rock climbing, and we'll all get together at the local watering hole or bar or tavern or pub, and we'll have a Michelob Ultra, or maybe meet up at some park, and we'll talk and have an Ultra. And well, that was a great run, and let's have an Ultra. Cheers. So, and what also helped him significantly was also the presence of Mr. Lance Armstrong, the American hero. Of course, cyclist, won 7 Tour de France, and and then of course the story became even more powerful because he was battling cancer, and and that really propelled the beer to enormous heights, and everything was going well, and then everything started crashing down for Mr. Armstrong, as we all know. The PEDs. He didn't win those 7 medals, and he was on the juice for him to get those medals. So in 2011, 2012. So for right now, if you look, sales of Michelob Ultra have really done quite well. I mean, right now, if you turn on the TV, anything Anheuser-Busch puts out commercial-wise, you may see a Natty Light that's maybe on Spike TV. You may see a Busch or Busch Light, Shock Top, definite. But majority of the commercials right now is, Bud Light, and of course Michelob Ultra. And um, Ultra's done well now. They're within the top 20 in terms of beer sales in the United States, and I think they were like number 8 or number 9. But they've done very well, and again, marketing has really helped them. Promoting a healthy, fulfilled lifestyle. So, and that's what they've done. So 20 now they've come out with um, their lime cactus, which is another Anheuser-Busch brand. Also came out with their lime beer, Bud Light, with a Bud Light lime. They had the Platinum and all the others, which this is where I'm going to be a bit critical. This is okay. I mean, I'm not. I'm saying it's it's light block. What it is, what it is. This reminds me of, as well as Bud Light Lime, when I did the review of that, and I did a review with the guys, Mr. Terrio and his friends, and I guess we're going to be doing a review of this beer coming up soon. This reminds me of a beer that came out back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, into the early 2000s. That beer was Tequila. Now, Tequila was a lager. They were Anheuser-Busch before the InBev, took hold of them. Were all about, they were trying to compete with Corona, the lime flavored beer, and it did okay, but many were not coming on. Were buying it. They're like, no, no, and we just this no, we ain't down with this. So Squeeza disappeared, and then some markets had it, other markets kind of kept it, others was like screw it, we ain't gonna worry about it. So so now the popularity of these flavored beers, you've seen it, the reds, the hard cider, the wicked. The wicked is okay. I think what's helped the wicked line is the added alcohol, the 8%. But these beers, these flavored beers, you know, are very popular. People who don't want something more enjoyable, something more relaxing, more refreshing, something more easy and not too overly heavy. And it has a little bit of fruity, maybe mild, not overly fruity, but mild. They're buying it. Michelob Ultra has the Michelob Ultra Amber, and there's also a cider that they do this line. But and this is what this beer reminds me of, and also Bud Light Lime reminds me of the same thing of that Tequila. It has the same texture. It just has that same sort of mild, very crisp finish, and perfect for this time of year right now. It's been brutally hot. If you live in the southeast like I do, it's just been ugh, horrible, and we don't really need. I don't like heat at all, but it is what it is. So, I'm going on 12 minutes. I don't want to keep rambling on about this beer. I mean, it's a light lager. I'm not going to say much about it. I mean, Mexican food. If you're having some, saute some shrimp in the pan, serving over some rice or yellow rice, white rice, whatever. I think that would pair well with this. But really much, this doesn't do it for me. So the cost of it is a little too high. I mean, if you really want lime flavor, just squeeze a lime in your Busch Light or Bud Light. Squeeze a lime in your Coors Light if you want a lime flavored beer. That's kind of how I look at it. Well, take that back. Tequila was more of a lemon lime flavor. It might have been a lemon flavor or lime flavor, but whatever. It was all trying to compete with Corona. And to me, as far as Corona is concerned, which I think has an agreement with Anheuser-Busch InBev in terms of distribution ownership, I guess. If I watch my Corona review, you'll probably see that. But to me, I think the Corona is better without the lime. I feel it's a better beer. So, but anyhow, with this, I'm gonna give this thing a C minus. It's gonna be a 6. It's not great. It ain't terrible. It's bland. It's like nah. Yeah, I'll knock a few back. No. So anyhow, 6 score for me for the Michelob Ultra Lime Cactus. Natural beer with natural flavors. John Anderson Pierre, if you've had this before, and if you've whatever, and enjoyed it, leave your comments and statements on the bottom and subscribe to my channel. So 6 score for me for the Lime Cactus. Jean Anderson Pierre, the Beer Ramilton. To keep on watching, and as always, cheers. Bye.